This is your whiteboard brief for Tuesday, April 28th. Today we have 4 rounds of single arm work. We're going to start with the single arm push press, then single arm bent over row, and single arm sumo deadlift high pull. Our Metcon is a 20-minute EMOM, which stands for every minute on the minute. We have 5 different movements today, so we'll be going through 4 rounds of this. Our first minute is a 50-meter overhead carry. You'll start on your right or left arm, and then the next round you'll do the opposite. If you don't have 50 meters measured out, we're gonna spend about 30 to 40 seconds in this position. Minute 2, 20 sumo deadlift high pulls. Minute 3, 50 double unders. Minute 4, 20 single leg V-ups, and then minute 5, 100-meter run. Our finisher today is 4 sets of 10 dumbbell pullovers.
Hey guys, our strength today is going to be all single arm work, so we're working that unilateral strength, which will help even out both sides, okay? I know a lot of us have a dominant side, so single arm work or single leg work is the perfect way to help even that out. We're going to start with single arm push press, then move into single arm bent over row, then single arm sumo deadlift high pull. Keep in mind, if you only have a barbell to work with today, you can just do barbell push press, barbell bent over row, and barbell sumo deadlift high pull. You just won't get that single arm aspect out of it. Okay guys, so let's talk about push press first. I'm going to demonstrate everything with a kettlebell today, but of course you can do this with a dumbbell and, like I said, a barbell as well. So we are going to do that vertical dip and drive, meaning my torso stays straight up and down. The only thing that's bending here are my knees. So once I do my dip, I'm driving my knees out, heels are planting into the ground, and then I will stand up explosively. So that dip and drive is what gives me that initial momentum to get the weight off my shoulder. Okay, since we are doing single arm, let's create tension with our non-working arm. Okay, feet are gonna be about hip width apart. I'm going to dip and punch. Back down, controlled, dip and punch. And remember, we wanna land with our arm next to our ear, fully extended and stacked, okay? We'll do 10 on each side there. Next, we have single arm bent over row. A few different options for how you guys can get set up for this. I like having a stable surface that I can kind of plant myself on. I feel like that gives me the strongest stance, and I can get the most out of the pull. So ideally you're setting up on something like a chair or a bench or something like that. Your non-working side will be planted knee and hand here. Right leg is kind of spread out a little bit wider here. I'm getting into a nice, strong stance, okay? So flat back, shoulder blades engaged, and remember, I'm gonna pull up to my hip, okay? So we have 15 to do on each side today. As I pull up, I'm trying not to twist open like that, okay? If you guys don't have anything, or if you prefer to do it like in a split stance, you can always go here. You can rest your other hand on your thigh here, pulling up to your hip. Okay, you can also do, I think it's called a Chinese row, where your feet are a little bit wider, and you're gonna pull the kettlebell from in between here, still pulling up to our hip, okay? 15 on each side. Then we have single arm sumo deadlift high pull. So just like we would do our normal sumo deadlift high pull, we'll get into that sumo stance, toes slightly pointed out, knees driving out, okay? When I get to my setup position, nice flat back, shoulder blades engaged, I'm creating tension with my non-working hand. Okay, so remember, just like when we were doing single arm squats and lunges earlier, or last week, we're trying to fight that rotation, okay? So I'm keeping everything nice and solid, keeping my shoulder blades back. So I'm gonna bend over, grab onto that kettlebell, stand up, and high pull. Okay? So we'll do 10 on each side, going through 4 rounds and resting as needed in between. Okay guys, our Metcon today is going to be an EMOM, 20 minutes long. We have 5 different movements today, so that's gonna be 4 total rounds. And remember that EMOM stands for every minute on the minute. So every minute on the minute today, we're gonna have an assigned amount of reps to get done. Now, we do want you guys to allow for some rest time here. So if you run through your first round and you're not getting any rest, we'd like you to have at least 15 seconds of rest each round. Then you'll start by scaling the reps back. Okay, the first movement is a single arm overhead carry. So we'll focus on doing one side at a time, meaning that my first round, I'll do on my right or left, and then the second round I go through, I'll do the opposite arm. Since we have 4 rounds today, we can do an even amount. Okay guys, so for our overhead carry, if you guys have ever been in my class, you know I always am yelling at you guys to keep pushing through the ceiling, okay? A lot of times you probably can't even feel it once we start to walk. We let that elbow bend and things start to get a little bit soft. You look over at me and I'm doing this to you, I'm doing that face. That means I want you guys to actively be driving up the entire time, okay? This should feel like it is a stacked position. I personally feel that if you stay stacked, the movement actually feels easier, okay? If I start to get soft and start to bend here, then it starts to put pressure on all the wrong spots. So don't go so heavy today that you have to bend the elbow, okay? We want a nice, strong, solid position. It does say 50 meters. If you guys don't have distance measured out, we're gonna turn that into just a 30 to 45 second walk around your house, walk around your garage on one side, okay? When we're cleaning this up off the ground, just like you would a barbell clean or deadlift, nice flat back, shoulder blades back, okay? So I don't wanna pick this up off the ground sloppy. I'm going to clean it to my shoulder and then I'll do a push press above head, okay? Creating tension with that other arm. I'm gonna keep everything stacked, nice and solid, taking nice deep breaths as I walk. Okay, we'll do this for 30 to 40 seconds or for 50 meters. Like I said, the next round that we go through, you'll move to the other arm, okay? Our second minute is gonna be sumo deadlift high pull. So we'll get into our sumo deadlift stance, wider than shoulder width, toes slightly pointed out. Remember, I'll always remind you guys to really drive the knees out hard with our sumo deadlift. We always want our knees tracking over our toes, okay? And also remember that we get our momentum in this movement from the sumo deadlift. So as I stand up, I'm getting aggressive hip extension before I start to pull, okay? The ending position should be elbows higher than the kettlebell. Kettlebell stops at chest height. There's no need to pull it up by the face, okay? So driving my knees out, back flat, shoulder blades engaged, stand, pull, back down. Okay guys, that is a sumo deadlift high pull and you have 20 to do. The next minute is gonna be 50 double unders or 50 singles, okay? 50 double unders is a lot to get done within a minute, especially if you aren't very efficient at them. Yes, if you do them unbroken, you'll have plenty of time to rest. So if you are working on double unders, maybe attempt some, but if you're getting stuck, just move to singles, okay? Minute 4, single leg V-ups. These are, I find, a little bit easier than our normal V-up. So we're gonna start on the ground, and we have 20. So you guys can do 10 on one side, 10 on the other, or you can alternate back and forth until you get to 20. I would personally do 10 at a time, okay? So we're going up just like we would a V-up. Arms are gonna swing up, meet in the middle. Okay, ideally once we get started, we're bringing that leg up and down, the heel does not touch until you rest, okay? So 20 single leg V-up, and then our last minute is gonna be a 100-meter run. Once again, I know a lot of you guys don't have distance measured out, so that can be about a 30-second jog. Okay, we're gonna run through that for 4 rounds, 20 minutes total for the EMOM. Okay guys, our finisher today is gonna be 4 sets of 10 dumbbell pullovers. You need 1 dumbbell or 1 kettlebell to do this. So you guys are gonna find a spot on a bench, something that you can lay down on. So if this means maybe taking a shower and doing this on the edge of your bed later, I know a lot of you guys don't have a bench or something to sit on, so we'll just try our best to get this in today. So I'm gonna set myself up. I'm gonna have my head right at the end here. Basically, I'm just trying to get some range of motion as I take the dumbbell up and over my head. Okay, so I'm gonna grab onto my dumbbell like this. Okay, just a slight bend in my elbow. I'm gonna take it back as far down as I can control it and it's causing no pain, okay? And then I'm gonna push up right above head, okay? Once again, a slight bend in the elbow, taking it back, getting that deep range of motion. That's why we're on an elevated surface and pressing up. Okay, this is just a good accessory piece for the upper body. It's gonna work our triceps, our pecs, our lats, and shoulders, okay? And it's core, because you're thinking about keeping your core nice and engaged through this. I know this is a new movement for you guys, so just try to do your best. Keep that stable core, take it back with a slight bend in your elbow, nice and controlled. Once again, you're gonna have 4 sets of 10 reps.